Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 9 of Dogs on Skates. That is Andy. I am J-Dawg. And we're at the time of the year that is kind of tough to watch as a Canucks fan. They are about done. And yeah.
Done like dinner.
Yeah,
Sad times.
it is. They played Winnipeg this past Sunday. We're recording on Saturday, March 5th. April 5th. Yeah, they played Winnipeg on Sunday. Hard fought battle, but not the result we were looking for. Came up short. And then from there, the Blues have kept rolling. Some other teams have kept rolling. And we're about done. So we're looking at some draft stuff. But yeah, how are you feeling, Andy?
Yep, that about sums it up. They're
Yeah.
done like dinner. I think realistically they've been done for a while now. I think it was just the most optimistic and naive of us were holding on to hope until pretty recently. But
Yeah, I would say so.
you saw the way other teams were playing. The Blues weren't gonna be an option to catch, and then really the only realistic scenario was if the Wild just fell on their face, and they really haven't done that all year. So it's yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, now we're looking forward. Okay, what's next? Do we, like, as a Canucks fan, are we tanking? Are we hoping to tank as low down as possible? I think from my perspective, that is like what I'm hoping for, is just to get as low as possible, see if there's any hope at all that you could move into the top five. Because the NHL does two draft lotteries now, one for the top pick, and then one for getting into the top five. And there are some pretty solid players in the top five. I think obviously we're needing centermen, and I believe there's 6 centermen ranked to be in the top 10. So, yeah, but it feels
I
like a long
thought you were
shot.
gonna say 6 in the top 5. Gonna have some questions for you there. No, I kind of disagree. I still want to see them play it out with some heart and some pride. I was thinking about the way that this season has gone, and realistically, if they win that game versus the Rangers that they should have won, um, get a couple of points on all of these overtime
I
games
mean,
that
that Columbus game that we were up three
it's
nothing and 5-3 in.
we blew two different three goal leads this season. We've had so many games go to overtime, and you look at the Canucks roster, just Quinn Hughes alone on the ice in overtime, it doesn't make sense that we didn't pick up more points in overtime. So if half the games that went to extra time they got points out of, we're right there. Like, despite everything that went wrong, the absolute circus that was this season, we still would have been right there with just, a couple of things breaking their way. Last year, everything broke the Canucks' way. This year, they just needed a couple of things and they didn't get it. So
Yeah.
I don't think it was as bad as it maybe feels at times. And I do want to see them finish the season strong, play with some pride, because to my mind, it's still, Quinn Hughes is the prize at the end of this, right?
Mm,
Um, I think he probably doesn't want to just pack it up and start losing games to get a better draft pick.
yeah.
Um, I don't know.
Yeah. I
I
hear
also
that.
don't want them to sit all of their star players when I go down for the
That's
one
fair.
game that I get to watch in the
That's
past
fair.
decade.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting spot. And I mean, we have lots of young guys that playing with the team as well. So you don't want them to, come in and have to just play for a team that is given up, basically. We saw Rick Tocchet pull the goalie with 4 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go, down 4 goals, just to see. They asked him about it afterwards. He said just to see who had given up. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
the reading between the lines, I took his response as, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
Yeah.
Got to try
So,
something.
yeah. Um, I don't know like what the Canucks do this summer. It's
I've got some
all
suggestions.
right. I want to hear them.
I I
It's been a common theme of, oh,
big sigh, gather
yeah.
my thoughts. Um, I think there is a rift between PD and Talkit, or PD and the organization at large, which includes, stuff we've heard about the Sedines and otherwise. I think Rick Talkit is an old school, gut it out, hard on your sleeve, play through it type of guy, and I think PD is not.
Hmm.
And I don't know how harmoniously two kind of polar opposites like that will work together. Which, if that's what it's coming down to, if we're in a Talkit PD situation like we were in a Miller PD situation, at some point you got to quit choosing the non PD guy to move on from.
Yeah.
If the common denominator in all of this is PD,
But we
so
can't lose another trade either. Like, we
I
can't,
I I don't know that I agree with that.
I don't think we can lose a trade. I don't think we can afford to trade Pedersen for like as a total package, something that can't, like, doesn't return another top centerman in some capacity, whether it's draft picks and prospects that you can then turn into, like, flip for a first, for a number one centerman, or you get the number one centerman somehow in return from a team that wants to change things up. I don't know. Um, yeah.
I mean, you and I have talked about the Tage Thompson potential
Mm-hmm.
scenario. If you could work out a deal there that you get Tage
Yeah.
Thompson back in some capacity to replace Pedersen, maybe you don't get quite the upside, but you get a much more, I would argue, Rick Tocchet type of player back.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that really entices me. Now, I don't know if Buffalo would go for that. I think there
Mm-hmm.
was a time you probably get Tage Thompson plus plus
Yeah.
for PD. Now I'm not even sure Buffalo does it straight up. PD's such a distressed asset. But that's where I would be looking, I think. Now I'm not gonna just absolutely get fleeced on a deal this summer. I think if that's what's being offered, then you ride with PD and you just cross your fingers and hope for the best. But if there's somebody who's willing to give you a reasonable offer and you can move off of this guy and get in some guys that play that kind of hockey that talk it, and I would argue most of the fans want, I would be willing to lose a trade if it meant moving in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a tough spot. I don't know. I think the thing I'm struggling with is that oftentimes I know what the future is or the direction is, and it's really hard to know what is the direction right now. What is their next step? Are they moving pieces out? Are we losing Besser and Suter for nothing? Are we, like, what's happening? There's
I
so
think we're
many
losing Besser for
unknowns.
nothing. I
You
think
think
as
we
soon as
are?
March 8th hit, I think we were losing Besser for nothing.
And we're probably
And
losing Suter for nothing.
it just makes me so angry. I can,
Yeah.
I can barely contain my rage
Yeah.
at that thought.
I just don't know how we get back to being a contender. I don't know how they do it. There's not enough at free agency to get you back to being a contender.
No, I don't think it's done through free agency. I think if you go and you bring in a guy like Nick Ehlers to replace what Besser was giving you, I think that's an okay move. You're obviously paying a little bit more for Ehlers coming out of UFA than you were for the last 6 years of Besser, but
Mm-hmm.
I think he plays maybe a more dynamic game. Maybe drives play a little bit more. He's certainly looked good the last two times the Canucks have seen him in person. So maybe you do something like that, but I really think that the move is going to have to be via trade.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing a lot of stuff about Bo Horvat, and I don't know if we've really talked about that much. What is your take on the idea of Horvat coming back to Vancouver?
I mean, I'm good with it. I don't know if he comes back to work for a team that chose JT Miller over him. Like, I don't think that was the greatest of send offs. Um, yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
how. I don't think he does that, but you never know. Maybe things have changed. Yeah, I don't know. I'm at such a loss.
It's
I don't know what this
it's
team
an
is doing.
interesting one. I mean,
Yeah,
I always liked Horvat. I know you were a Horvat fan.
yeah,
You've got the jersey to prove
yeah,
it. So that's that's the kind of thing that I could get behind. If you could move Pedersen and maybe you got to bite the bullet and move out Willander and a couple of picks, and you bring in like Tage Thompson, Bo Horvat to be your 1-2.
yeah.
I can get on board with that. Hopefully Heedle comes back and can contribute and be your 3. Then you got one of the young guys at 4.
Okay,
That's
so you're Alvin, and you bring in Quinn Hughes into the office, have a sit down, be like, hey, what do you need out of next year? What players do you want to bring in? Are you happy with the coach? Like, what are your thoughts on the season? What do you want changed? What do you want kept the same? And he says, I want to keep Petey. I think he's got more in him. I think he's a 100-point player. If you trade him, I think we lose on that. I want you to keep him. What do you do?
Well, I think I put the question back to him. So does this mean that if we keep Petey, if we commit to Petey because that's what Quinn Hughes wants us to do, does that mean that you're committing to staying here long term?
Hmm.
Like we'll give you the money. Money's not going to be an issue. We'll give you as much money as anybody else would. We want the commitment. Because if this is what you want, we'll do it, but we need that commitment out of you.
Mm-hmm.
I would do that. I would keep Petey if it meant keeping Hughes. So
Do you
if
trust?
he's not willing to give you that commitment, that I'll stay.
What if he says, yes, I'll stay? Do you trust that he'll keep his word?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I think you have to. If you're going all in on Quinn Hughes and you have to.
Mm-hmm.
So you risk it, and if it blows up in your face and it turns out he's a liar and he walks, then well, that sucks. That story
Yeah.
certainly gets leaked at some
Yeah.
point, and and he gets booed mercilessly every time he steps into Vancouver. But he doesn't strike me as that type. I think he'd be
No, I
pretty
don't think so.
pretty straight up with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think the thing that excites me as a fan is movement and the possibility for movement. Just trades and free agent signings and stuff are just fun,
Yep.
or at least I find them fun. So I think that excites me. It's the one thing that gives helps me continue to pay attention to this team despite the frustrations every year. So I think that will be good. I'm looking forward to that in the summertime. But it's really too bad that a team with honestly as much talent as they have and guys having career years like Suter and like Garland's had a great year. They've had a bunch of defensemen step out of nowhere. Like to kind of waste all that is really sucks.
Yep. But like I say, there's a lot of things that just broke against
Yeah.
them, and they weren't that far off from at least making it in. And
Yeah.
then you never know. But
And with their goaltending and defense, I could see like a couple changes and guys clicking, and all of a sudden they're rolling again. Like as rudderless as the ship appears, I think it's like I've said it all year. Like I think they're like one or two pieces away from being right there. Like it's
if
such an
Demko
anomaly.
could get to a place where you get that rock solid Demko, 8 out of 10 games, and then you only occasionally have to bring in Lankinen to spell him off for, the occasional game here and there, back to back, a busy week, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that could be so good. Could be
Yeah.
so good. It was just so hit and miss and stop and start with both guys that I don't think anybody ever really felt like there was predictability in what was coming next, right? How many
Yeah.
games am I going to get? When am I coming out or going in? It was,
Well, and especially if like guys like Lekkermaki and Atu and a few of those young guys can take a step. If Tom Willander can step in and be what like DPD has been for this season, like there's real possibility here with the young guys to do something pretty special, I think. So yeah, it's going to be very, very fascinating to see how this goes and how next year goes. Because, I mean, yeah. And if Talkett takes the extension, I mean, we still don't have him signed technically. So lots of unknowns. It'll give us stuff to continue talking about, which is nice.
yeah.
But yeah, any last words on that or should we move on?
I think that mention of Tom Willander is a good segue. We can probably
Yeah.
move on and talk a little more about him.
Yeah, so he's been playing with Boston University and has been doing quite well playing in the Frozen Four or up to the Frozen Four, I suppose. He's got his semifinal game on April 10th, and the championships play on April 12th. And he's looking at a few different options. So after the tournament's over, whenever it is, whether they're eliminated or they go all the way and win the whole thing, the tournament will be ending before the Vancouver Canucks season's over. The Abbey Canucks season is over. So, which will he choose? Will he come to the Canucks and sign, and I think it's burn a year, I think, of his ELC to make that happen?
I don't know how many games you'd have to play to burn a
Yeah,
year, because if they go to the championship game on the 12th, I think Vancouver only has 2 games after that. The 14th,
right.
which is the one I'm going
And I
to,
think
and
it
then the
might be a
16th.
9 game limit.
I
So,
think so.
So anyway, this is according to Rick Dollywall. He's looking at either coming to the Canucks for the last few games of the year, going to the Abbotsford Canucks and finishing out the year there, and then going and playing for them in the playoffs because they've just clinched a spot in the playoffs, and or doing neither and going back to Boston University for a third year. Apparently, that's still on the table. That's something that hasn't really been talked about. It was pretty expected that he would join the team, but apparently he might be joining Boston University again for a third year. So again, we'll just lots of unknowns. We'll see what happens there. We'll kind of monitor that. But pretty cool to see that he is excelling in Boston University.
I'd be super excited to be there for his first game if it
Oh
happens to work
yeah,
out that way on the 14th.
totally.
That would be pretty neat.
That would be very slick.
Um,
Um, yeah. And speaking of the Abbotsford Canucks, they
whew,
not only got into the playoffs, this is their 4th year in a row of doing it. They did it by winning their 11th straight game against the San Diego Gulls. That's mighty impressive. They're sitting third in the division. They're like a lot of teams there, all packed together, separated by like 1 or 2 points. But yeah, hopefully they can take a run here. Manny Malhotra and the kids are really excelling this year. I think surprising a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people saw them doing as well as they have been, but yeah.
well, and they've won 11 games in a row now, and that's with Lek Aramaki with the big club. Ratu's up,
Neil Zaman,
right? Nils Aman's up.
Carlson,
DPD they don't haven't had for a long time.
Mancini. Yeah.
Like none of those guys are with the Abbey Canucks, and they're
Yeah.
on an 11-game win streak. Everybody in the NHL is like, "Can you believe what the Blues are doing? They've won 11 in a row." Yeah, so has Abbotsford.
Right?
It's remarkable, and I mean, just another feather in the cap for Manny Malhotra, who's
Yeah.
reigning tenant of our, I guess not tenant, but reigning winner of our Dog of the Week.
Yeah, it's pretty
What a
sweet
great
to
job.
see. No kidding. Yeah. And you were saying that the Abbey Canucks was not the only team to get an 11 game win streak. The St. Louis Blues are still continuing their heater. I think this is like the 3rd podcast in a row that we've talked about them being on a win
It's
streak.
so gross.
They're on 11 games in a row. They've won a few in overtime to keep it rolling. Yeah. And they, they might catch the Avalanche at this point. They are cruising.
I wouldn't want to face them.
No. And it's looking like they're blown past the Minnesota Wild now. So they're in the first wild card spot, which would mean that they'd be taking on probably Vegas, which would be a very fun series. And that would be a tough challenge for Vegas.
I was going to say I like that matchup for the Blues.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you look at the Blues on paper and it doesn't seem like they should be such a powerhouse.
Right?
But everybody just seems to be clicking.
And they were like 15 points out or something like that. It was like they were way out of it and have just completely clawed themselves back into it and are rolling now. So
this is just
they're
unheard
a
of.
scary team.
Nobody claws back from being so far out to make it to the playoffs. Oh wait, St. Louis did exactly that.
I like
6 years ago.
I like how they've been the team that everyone uses as like, oh, there's still hope. Like, we're way out of it. But St. Louis did it in 2019. And St. Louis is like, wait, we did it. Let's do it again.
Because here's a fun little piece of trivia. The 11 straight wins that they have now ties a franchise record. Do you know when that record was previously set?
I do not.
2019. They won 11 straight from January
No
23rd to
way.
February 19th and went on to win the Stanley Cup several months later.
No way.
So
That's awesome.
they didn't start from as far down, but
Right.
this is largely a carbon copy of 6 years ago.
Man, that's crazy.
Unreal stuff.
Yeah. And Jordan Binnington's like, hey, I'm back to 2019 form.
Ugh. Binnington.
Wild. All right. What is next, sir? Oh yeah, we have the Cougars and the Royals. WHL, little update. So I live in Victoria. Your old pal Andy here lives in Prince George. We're kind of following our local sports teams. And the Prince George Cougars and the Victoria Royals came down to the wire of who was going to win the division. And the Royals just barely edged them out this year. Royals take on Tri-City and are up 3-0. They lose a game in Tri-City last night. So the series is 3-1 Royals heading into last night's game. And the Royals put down a touchdown in Tri-City, 7-0 to end the series. The Cougars they were down 3-1 against, I think it's Portland. And they battled back last night and won 7-2. And
We can score touchdowns too.
Also score touchdowns. And I was actually following it on my phone, and they were scoring them at the same time. It was like 5-2, 5-0, 6-2, 6-0, 7-2, 7-0. So yeah, in full unison, doing some dominating last night. So I believe the Cougars played this weekend again to try and stay alive in Game 6. So kind of keeping an eye on those teams. Maybe they'll play against each other if
Sunday,
they can.
6 p.m.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think there's a possibility that it'll be Royals Cougars. I think possibly in the second round if the Cougars can make it through.
And J-Dawg would have his loyalties tested.
Oh yeah, I don't know what I do there. I don't know what I do there. But yeah, just a little update. We'll kind of keep an eye on that as that continues. Dog of the week this week. Who you got, Andy?
Oh, I just want to, before we go to Dog of the Week, I just want to briefly touch on Ovechkin because he did something.
Oh, geez. Yeah. How did I forget? Of course.
I'm not sure. Ovi ties Gretzky with Gretzky in attendance in
Such a cool game.
Fewer games played.
At home in Washington.
Yeah. So I believe Ovechkin plays again tomorrow.
Against
Sunday,
the Islanders.
Against the Islanders.
Yeah. On the island.
You got to think he's just feeling it right now.
Yeah.
It probably happens tomorrow, I'm guessing.
So cool. He had his son in the first row. I don't know if you saw that. I did put a bet on him for 2 or more goals, knowing that he needed 2, and I hit it. Yeah, Ovechkin was there. Gretzky was in the stands. Ovechkin, after scoring the goal, and all the team piles on him and everything, he skates over and gives his son a little high five, and then skates to center ice and salutes Wayne Gretzky and bows, and then heads to the bench. And I thought it was just like very classy. It was just kind of like, I see you and I've passed you, and it's just a little head nod to the one he passed. So I thought it was pretty classy.
If I was Gretzky, I think I might be petty enough to just have a big sign in bold letters that all it said was "How many assists?" ?
Yeah,
it's a little far off from the total points there.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. Like Ovechkin effectively has sold out for goal scoring, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
So the fact that it takes somebody supremely skilled in that one aspect of the game to have an incredibly long, incredibly consistent career to tie Gretzky, and I'm sure pass him, but yeah, if you're a well-rounded player who gets lots of assists as well, like, you're not doing it. Yeah. Nobody would have ever caught that.
So 2 things. Ovechkin played like in the end of, right at the end of like the trap era, dead puck era. Way less goals being scored in Ovechkin's playing career than in Gretzky's. Like maybe half. Like it's wild the difference. Like how many games, like 8 or 9 goals was pretty standard in like the 80s when Gretzky was playing. And you watch the goaltending and you're like, okay, I can see how he got so many goals. Also, Ovechkin had a lockout year and a half. Gretzky, I don't believe, had any lockout years. So he lost a full season and a half. So just giving a little bit of extra props to
Same games
Ovechkin.
played though.
Sorry?
Same games played.
Right. But that's like showing the durability of Ovechkin, which I think adds to it.
It's a remarkable accomplishment. Full stop.
But I
There's
think
no
one thing you said earlier that I think got overlooked a little bit, same amount of goals, one less game. He got 2 last night to make sure he did it in one less game. Like it's unreal. Like nearly
yeah.
1,500 games, and the difference is one. Like
If
that's
he gets
unreal.
hit by a bus and dies today, knock on wood, he'd be at the top
Yeah.
theoretically because he did it in fewer games.
So
Right.
now the next thing is the total goals. So including playoffs. He's got like, I think it's 50 to go or something like that to pass Gretzky.
Oh, geez.
Yes. So that's the next thing they're watching is overall goals, not just regular season. So yeah, that'll be the next one. But there's the passing Gretzky, which is going to happen here next couple games or whatever. And then there's the passing 900 mark for the first time ever. And then there's going to be the total goals. It's just going to be a consistent party for all of his constant breaking of records.
He's going to play till he's 60 like Yager, try to break 1,000.
Honestly, I can see it.
Yeah.
And honestly, he wouldn't have to play till 60 to break 1,000. He just needs to play till he's like 47.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
Anyways, good stuff from Ovechkin.
Yes, indeed.
Dog of the week. Man, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think Manny Malhotra.
Yeah.
That team is rolling and they're much better than... Okay. From where we're recording, we just watched the Canucks lose to Seattle 5-0. No one showed up. That was such a beatable game. It was at home. You need to just win that. And Talkett saying it's like a game 7 going into it, and you lose 5-0 in front of your home crowd. There's no dogs there. There's not a single dog there. No. None whatsoever. So I think we keep it in Abbotsford.
I like it. If we wanted to mix it up from Malhotra, we can just do the Abbey Canucks at large.
Yeah.
They are a whole bunch of dogs.
I like it.
And good on them.
I like it.
So,
yeah, the baby Canucks.
Excellent.
Dog house. Do you have a specific dog house member?
Oh, I don't know that I want to do this to him. I don't know.
To who?
Demko wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
I was so confident going into that game. I'm like, if we score 1 goal, we're gonna win this thing because Demko's not.
Yeah.
He's not getting beat by these guys. There's no chance. No chance. They had their 2 top
You're
scorers.
so right.
And he got beat repeatedly over the shoulder. Like
Yeah.
you don't see Demko getting beat there, but multiple goals. Yeah. Like it wasn't good. He's been so lights out for weeks. Right? Like his last 6 games were incredible.
Yeah.
But he fell on his face. It's hard to his just stands out because he's been so good. It's in such stark contrast to how he's been playing that it makes it so obvious that he played poorly. But like you said, the entire team failed to show up. Nobody showed up. Nobody played with any real passion or intensity. I mean, a couple of guys were trying. You could see guys.
I mean, like Nils Amon and those guys I thought played great. Like all of the young guys I thought were great, but
the guys who at least theoretically possess that high-end skill that should be able to win you games, they no-showed.
So I've got one guy, and this is more than just like for this past week. It's been like a month or two. It's Jake DeBrusk.
So I thought about Jake DeBrusk last week when we were talking about Kevin Lankinen, and I'm like, I do not remember the last time I thought about Jake DeBrusk in any kind of positive way. But then I looked at how, like, so the eye test doesn't match what I found with his actual production, because he's actually been producing, which was so bizarre to me to find.
Mhm.
But he's, 2 goals, 6 assists in his last 10 games. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. That's not bad.
Yeah,
That's more than most guys are doing.
it's exactly what we signed him for. Yeah, that's
But
fair.
there's also minus, 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 minus.
I
There's a lot of
mean, it's a
minuses
flawed stat,
there.
but yeah.
It's super, super flawed. But you'd like to see a few more on the other side. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't hate that call out. Because I had the same thought. It's
Hmm.
just he's at least been putting the occasional point on the board.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to fault him too much. Like prior to the Seattle game, he had points in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight.
Yeah.
Like 1 point per game, but still, it's a point per
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Let's do Demko. It's tough.
Demko or the whole team. Your call.
Sure. It
We
feels
could do the whole
appropriate.
team.
If we're
Whole
doing
team in
the
the
Abbey
doghouse.
Canucks as Dog of the Week,
Yeah.
then we'll put the whole Vancouver Canucks in the doghouse. I like it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
One last thing on the Canucks.
Watch them rally and make the playoffs.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. That'd be wild. Man, I would love that. Oh, that'd be crazy. Rick Tocchet was talking to the media, and right after the road trip, and they're asking him about all of the players, just one by one, of who's been hurt, because obviously there's no media traveling with the team. So he's going through it, and we got to Pettersson, and they ask him, like, hey, so has he been skating? Like, what's been happening? He's like, yeah, he got out for like 1 or 2 like soft skates, working with some pain threshold stuff. And but the way he said it was so like disappointing sounding. Like, yeah, he got out there for 1 or 2 little skates. It was like, oh man, it just seemed like direct like disappointment from Tocchet about how, and they're asking him, like, do you expect him to play? And he's like, yeah, well, guys day to day kind of always expect him to play, but it's a pain threshold thing, so I don't really know.
That just feels like he is screaming what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That he thinks this guy should be playing. He thinks Petey should be sucking it up and
Yeah.
showing up for his freaking team.
I think it's exactly like he's holding Quinn Hughes off the ice, and he can't get Pettersson out there to save his life. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that just for a guy like Tocchet, I don't think there's something you can do that offends him more.
No,
than to,
honestly. Especially as a leader. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
fifth highest paid guy, 6th. I don't know. He's up there. But
in the league. Yeah. And by far first in the Canucks.
Yep.
Yeah. But you can just tell the kind of like the give up almost on Tocchet's end of just like, I don't know. Like, I'm over it.
I mean, I don't know how many times he can tell a guy, we need you to show up for your team. We need you to fight for this team. This is your team. We need you to show up, and have a guy just not do that.
Yeah.
How many times can you do that before you two would go?
Right.
I don't know.
I know. I'm the same way, especially for guys like Tocchet and Foote and all these like Gonchar who've played the game for years, and so they know what it's like. It's not like it's some like stats nerd that's coming in here like, I've never played the game, so I'm going to tell these guys, and then they're like, yeah, you don't know what it's like. Tocchet knows what it's like. That dude has probably played through everything. So,
or even the Sedins.
Yeah.
Right? Those guys took abuse on levels like Connor Garland.
Yeah.
And they had like incredible Iron Man streaks.
That's so true.
Because they just showed up game in, game out. And
how often do we talk about, maybe the Sedins are hurt? I don't remember that being a conversation. No. They probably were hurt. You didn't notice. No one noticed.
So much abuse.
Yeah.
Because
from their fans.
Weren't really
from Canucks fans.
That too. They didn't have the speed to, get out of situations. They just took it.
Yeah.
And absorbed the hit to make the play. They were
always learning to
personified that.
How to get better than their opponents and how to, when they feel like they're getting shut down, they found out new ways to not get shut down.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave it there, move on to happier things, but it'll be an interesting summer. And I mean, technically they're still alive. Technically, statistically, we'll see.
Yeah, Jordan glanced over to the side because I think he's got the game on as we're recording.
I actually paused it. It was a little too distracting.
Oh, there you go.
The Canucks Ducks game, we're recording while the Ducks game is going on, so we'll watch it later.
Even if we lose, I just want to see Connor Garland take it to Zegras again.
Oh, that'd be great.
One of my season highlights. No matter what happens, no matter how poorly the rest of the year goes, I will look back fondly on Connor Garland. Just let's go.
So good.
To Zegras.
Oh, fabulous. Yeah, I think we're done with all that kind of stuff. We're gonna head off to the dog park. All right, welcome into the dog park, and today's dog park we're gonna be starting out with a game of this or that. Yeah, this is a game where I don't know how to, like, bracket style, I guess, kind of. I call it like the eye doctor game, like 1-2.
Yeah, some rapid fire 1v1s.
There we go. So we're gonna be doing barbecued meats.
Oh,
for
no.
Andy.
Oh no.
And we're gonna see what comes out on top for barbecued meats.
I'll tell you right now that I will no longer have my man card at the end of this one.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, this is going to be
This is awesome.
bad.
Let's go.
So bad.
Right, okay, we're starting off. Hot dogs or pork chops?
Oh, okay. So, like, we're talking barbecue meat, like, off the grill?
Yep. Everything is on the grill.
I don't think I've ever had a pork chop off the grill.
What?
But I will go to town on some hot dogs. So
what?
Hot dogs.
That is mind-blowing.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I would recommend it. Barbecue sauce pork chops on the grill. They're very good.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very good. Especially if you get ones with a little bit of the fat mixed into it. It's very good.
It's going to be a deep run for cheeseburger whenever it comes up. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, no. Okay. Hot dog or chicken? Like thighs, drumsticks.
I never do it, but chicken when I've had it. Oh, yeah.
Chicken or sausages?
Chicken. Sausage is overrated.
Okay. Hot take. A chicken or burger?
Can I have somebody else make the chicken?
Yes.
Okay, then chicken.
Okay.
I would so overcook it. It would be chicken jerky, or it would kill us all. But I had a buddy who cooked up some chicken breasts on a kind of group vacation we did a long time ago, and it was unreal.
Oh no!
Yeah, if somebody else can cook the chicken for me, then chicken.
All right, chicken or brisket?
Oh, chicken.
Oh wow! Okay.
Oh yeah.
Chicken or kebabs?
Oh, chicken, because most of the time if there's a kebab, I'm scraping everything that's not chicken or steak off of it anyways.
Oh,
just eat around the vegetables.
How are you still alive?
Very, very nutrient deficient.
Chicken or ribs?
Oh, I can't say that I've ever even had ribs off a barbecue. I told you, man. I told you before we started
what
was going to happen.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know where I send it back to, but my man card's in the mail. So I guess chicken.
Okay. Chicken.
I imagine ribs would be really good, though. I do enjoy ribs.
They're insanely good. Chicken or steak?
Okay, steak.
All right. Whew. Yeah. You were scaring me.
Now I think steak's going to go on a real good run, but
steak or prawns?
Oh, steak.
Okay.
Prawns.
Steak.
You said that like prawns was going to be a viable competitor there.
Steak or lamb chops?
Steak.
Steak. And this is the final one. Steak or salmon?
Steak.
Yeah, I figured. That's why I put steak at the end. I didn't want it to
Yeah.
dominate the whole run.
Oh yeah, that
Okay.
could have been like MJ from a few weeks
Well,
ago.
exactly. That's what I
Just
was thinking of.
running
I
the
didn't need that again.
yeah.
Um,
No, steaks unreal. Shout out to my brother-in-law Eric. Dude makes a mean steak.
nice.
Oh,
Well, you've got to figure out how to do the
I
ribs on the
know.
barbecue, because that's going to give steak probably wins out still, but ribs. I did some ribs like a month ago with a homemade like barbecue glaze on it. I like marinated them and stuff. It was phenomenal. Yeah.
I'm so lousy on the grill. It's so
Well,
bad.
you'll have to come down here and I can make some for you then.
I'm more likely to like pan fry something than take it up to the grill.
Air
It's real
fryer,
bad.
air
I'm
fryer Andy.
yeah, pretty much. I'm real sorry,
Uh,
everybody. That was embarrassing.
All right, off to the next segment, and this is a
Oh man.
surprise segment. What do we got, Andy?
So I don't I don't know about a name for this. I'm thinking of like quasi quotes because I'm just gonna give some quotes from some famous, pretty famous, anyways, movies,
Oh,
and
okay.
J-Dawg's gonna try to tell me a couple of things. There's some bonus points at play here. If he can name just the movie itself,
Oh, okay, okay. I like this.
that's a a correct answer. I'm
Yep.
looking for the movie. Bonus points if he can tell me who said the quote, and extra bonus points if he can tell me what the next line or response to the quote
Oh, okay.
was.
So there's 3 possible points per question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, there's like, I'm judging you based on the one, just knowing the movie it's from.
Okay.
That's the only thing that should embarrass you if you miss these.
Okay.
The other ones are for bonus points.
Okay. Well,
All right.
okay. What era are the movies from?
I'm not telling you squat. These are all pretty famous
Okay.
movies. All either focus on or have some vague
Association.
inclusion of sports.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So the first quote: did you get the license number of what?
Nope.
So that's 2 people. The first, did you get the license number?
Oh,
The response of what?
This is the brothers. What's it called? Goodness gracious. The Hanson brothers. Is it Slapshot? No.
No.
What's the movie
not.
The Hanson brothers?
Yeah, I think that's Slapshot.
Slapshot. Okay.
Yeah. Nope. It's Rocky,
Oh.
and it's a bodyguard says, "Did you get the number?" Rocky says, "Of what?" The bodyguard says, "The truck that ran over your face."
Oh. Nope. That was
All
right over my head. It's been a long time since I've watched Rocky, though. So.
Fair enough. Okay. Next up. I am trying real hard not to completely lose my blank on all 3 of you right now.
That I'm going to go Slapshot.
I thought this was going to be easier.
Yeah. I was a little worried.
That is Sonny Weaver Jr. to his scouts in the movie Draft Day.
Oh, yeah. I remember that part. I don't remember what the response was, though. These are like deep cuts in the movies. Okay. Tough start. Tough start.
All right. Ancient Greece was the beginning of Western civilization. You see, in Greece, they didn't have professional sports or Wheaties boxes, so the athletes competed for another reason. Anybody?
What was the response? Okay. This is Mighty Ducks D2. They're walking by the river. They have their tutor there teaching them about American history and that sort of thing. What is the response? It's the tutor that says it. Do I need to know her name?
I mean, we'd all be more impressed if you did.
I don't remember her name, but it's the team
Michelle
tutor.
McKay.
That's right. Mrs. McKay. That's right. Oh man, I don't remember the
Do
response.
you remember who says the response?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Goldberg.
It was Goldberg.
Yes. Okay. Say the quote one more time.
Ancient Greece was the beginning of Western civilization. You see, in Greece, they didn't have professional sports or Wheaties boxes, so the athletes competed for another reason. Anybody? To which Goldberg
Ah,
replies,
cheeseburgers.
falafels?
Ah, I was pretty close. I was pretty close.
It's not bad.
Goldberg worked at like a diner, so I thought maybe the cheeseburgers, but all right. So 2 points? Question mark?
Yep, yep.
All
I'll
right.
give you
All right.
two. Because this is harder than I thought it was gonna be. Okay. Let's go with this one. Now I'm wondering if J-Dawg has noticed a theme, but we're gonna keep going.
Hmm.
How about I beat your butt right now? What have the movies had in common so far?
Um has it been food themed?
Draft Day, Rocky, D2 Mighty Ducks.
I don't know. What are you getting at?
These were from your draft board, my dude.
Oh, oh, geez. Okay, what's the quote
So
again?
that narrows it down. How about I beat your butt right now?
Oh man. um, I'm gonna go Moneyball.
No, that was Cool Runnings.
Oh, okay.
How about I beat your butt right now? How about I draw a line down the middle of your head so it looks like a butt?
Yes, yes, I remember that scene.
Cool Runnings.
Very good.
Okay. If you want to power through, I've got two more for you.
Okay.
All right. A team with better character can beat a team with better talent. I believe that. You guys are not the team that is short on talent here today.
Miracle on Ice. No.
No. That was from Invincible. That was Dick Vermeil.
Oh
And I swear you will never again be the team short on character.
man, I'm the team short on points.
Man. See, I found it hard to find quotes that I thought you would have a shot
Yeah.
of getting, but that weren't too obvious. So
That's
many of them
fair.
just reference a character name or
Right.
clearly reference the sport. Like
That's
Cool Runnings
fair.
had a lot of bobsled references. I figured that'd
Ah.
be a little too easy. But I'm super curious how I would do roles reversed.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, maybe we'll have to bring this
If you had
back.
done, if you had done, are you dead, Senka? For Cool Runnings, the answer is yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I would have got that one right away.
That's great, but I think it's a little obvious. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
that's fair.
All right.
Lastly,
Last one. I don't care if they like me. I didn't come here to make friends. I don't even care if they respect me. I know who I am.
well, I'm gonna go Miracle on Ice because I think that's the last one that hasn't been selected. No.
You want to try again?
Um.
Might not have been from your actual drafted list, but from your draft
Oh.
board. So this includes
Okay.
your honorable mentions.
Oh man.
So again, I didn't want to make it too easy on you. Right?
Yeah. Say it one more time.
I don't care if they like me. I didn't come here to make friends. I don't even care if they respect me. I know who I am.
It sounds so familiar. I just can't put it to anything. Man. I'm gonna go with like Mighty Ducks like one. it's not that, but
That was Jackie Robinson from 42.
oh, okay. Yeah. I think I've watched that movie once, loved it. I think I was 11. So
And that's tough. Like I
Yeah.
loved Ford v Ferrari.
yeah.
If you picked a random quote out of that movie, no chance. Now, if you did Happy Gilmore or Waterboy,
Right.
I can probably tell you what came
Yeah.
before it, the next line, who said it. Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to turn this into a little bit of a competition. We just throw quotes back and forth to each other, see who wins. But I liked it. We'll work on it a bit. We'll workshop it, but
yeah.
Yeah.
There's solid bones there.
There's potential there. Yeah.
Flesh that out a little
All right.
bit.
Lastly, we're heading off to another edition of Nameplates, the hilarious, obscure NHL name spelling competition.
Not even that obscure, just kind of tough.
Yeah, that's true. Do we want to
least
flip
for
the
Jordan.
coin and see who starts? It was tough for me. Oh, man. I think I went over last time, so let's not do that again.
All right. Andy wins.
Okay.
So I don't even know
you
that
choose,
it matters who.
You choose whether you start or go second.
I'll give you a name.
Okay.
I'm going to give you Matt Grzelcyk.
All right. It is M-A-T-T, Matt. Grzelcyk is G-R-Y. G-R... Oh. G-R-Y-L-I-C-K.
Are you sure?
No. The I and the Y might be flipped. I'm not sure on which order they go in. I know there's a Y in there somewhere. G-R-Y-L-E-C-K. Grzelcyk.
Not close.
Oh.
G-R-Z.
Oh, right.
E-L-C-Y-K.
Wow. Okay. Yep.
You
not
did
close.
get Matt right.
Hey.
So there's that.
Okay. You have Alexei Protas from the Washington Capitals.
Okay. So I'm thinking the trick is going to be in the Alexei. Oh, man. Or maybe it's not. Alexeiprotas.
Also not close.
What?
Alexei.
Not close?
A-L-I-A-K-S-E-I. Alexei.
No. No.
I saw that come up and I was like, that's how you spell Alexei? That's definitely going in the next nameplates.
Wow.
Yes, sir. That's Alexei.
Okay. Well, he's dead to me. That's wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is some kind of name. Nailed Protas, though.
You did nail Protas. You sounded it right out.
How about Nino Niederreiter?
N-I-N-O, Nino. Jeez. N-E-D-O-R-I-T-I-E-S.
T-I-E-S.
Niederreiters.
You didn't even
T's.
You didn't even put an R in there. Niederreiters.
Whoops.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
That train has gone off the tracks.
Again, Nino, you got right. Niederreiter. Niederreiter.
Wow. Okay. Yep.
I-E-S.
Okay. Next you have Marc-Edouard Vlasic.
Oh, okay. Mark is M-A-R-C, and I think it's a dash. Edward is E-D. U-O-A-R-D. Edward. Velastic is VLA SIC.
You are so close.
Oh, nuts.
Edward is everything else is right. Edward is EDOUARD. There's just the U and the O were swap places there. Very close.
I knew all the right letters. I knew they were all in there.
Which was
Gosh,
I thought I
darn
would
it.
have you with the OUA combination, but
Yeah. No, that was one of those things where the first time I saw it, I'm like, that is so insane. I will never forget that it has all that in there.
that's fair.
Wow. Okay. No, that'd be too easy. What
Take
Shane Gostisbehere.
SHAYNE Shane.
Oops.
GOST ISBHERE.
So close.
Dang
I thought even the Y in Shane might get you, but no.
it.
All you missed was a single E in the middle of Gostisbehere.
Oh, brutal.
GOSTISBEHERE.
Ghostis be here.
Yes.
That makes total sense. Not.
Right? Oh man.
Okay. Well, we're getting close. We're getting close.
Ooh.
Mark Scheifele.
MARK. I think. Scheifele. SCH. IEFELE.
Wah wah wah. SCHEIFELE. You're up next, sir.
Stupid Scheifele.
At some point, we'll get one right.
I'm not remotely convinced. Juuso Välimäki.
JUSSO. Juuso Välimäki. VALIMACKIE.
No.
Ah,
No. I mean, you lost it on Juuso, and then Välimäki
was also incorrect. Okay.
Yeah. JUU.
Oh, I think that got me before.
VALIMAKI.
Yeah, tough.
That was tough.
Jesperi Kotkaniemi.
JESPERIKOTKANA. No. KOTKANIEMI.
Ding, ding, ding.
Hey,
you got one.
go.
Good correction on the A. I thought maybe I had you there.
Excellent.
Well done.
Okay. I'll throw you a maybe easier one.
Okay.
Alexander Barkov.
There's so many ways to spell Alexander.
Which you wouldn't think until you're asked to spell it in this context.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh boy.
Should I just go with Sasha Barkov instead?
Nope.
I feel like the more I've thought about this, the harder it's gotten. Barkov.
You know it's going to be weird if I'm giving it to you.
Barkov is BARKOV. Let's get that out of the way. That's Barkov. Now
Ding, ding, ding.
Alexander. ALIK. AL Oh man.
Uh,
Alix Ander. Oh
oh, man.
jeez.
I can't keep it together. Alek
Yeah, I knew there was a K in there somewhere.
Sander.
I just like I can't make this work with a K. I don't know where it goes in here.
Oh
Yeah.
man. I think you got one more for me.
Yeah. And
I
then
think
one
I've
more
given you
for me.
5. I think I gave you 5.
Okay. Let's go
Oh,
with a
so I've
heart.
already won. Oh, that's good.
No, because you've only got one right. If I've got one more to go. Oh
No, you
no.
don't. I've given you
Wait.
5.
I gave you Protoss. I gave you Vlasic. I gave you Shifley. I gave you Kotkaniemi. Oh man. Okay. Well, that's annoying. I should have used one of the harder ones. Mackie Samaskevich.
Okay.
Good luck.
IWINAGAIN.
Mackie, Mackie.
Yeah, no, I was not going to get that.
Samaskevich, Samoskevich. Mackie Samaskevich
Wow.
from the Florida
Yeah, no.
Panthers.
No, I'm glad I didn't even try. I would have just embarrassed myself.
Okay, well done.
Whew.
You shut me out 1-0.
Excellent.
All right. We
The
are
victor go the imaginary spoils.
end the draft. We'll be right back. All right, welcome into the draft. Today we are going to be drafting fast food chains, our favorite fast food chains, and with each selection, we will be presenting a full meal. So like what our meal is at these places that we are drafting. We
So
will
you can't redraft the location. The restaurant is a one and done.
Correct.
Yeah, the meal is just for funsies.
That's right. We'll send it off to Andy here for the coin flip. See who starts.
Whoop. J-Dawg gets pick
Okay. Well, that gives me a tough decision off the hop then. I am going to be starting off with Chick-fil-A. It is, I think, partially because of the rarity too. We obviously don't have it in Canada or not in British Columbia yet. My go-to with Chick-fil-A is the chicken strips with the filet sauce, the waffle fries, and the big cup of sweet tea. So I'm sticking with Chick-fil-A for my first pick. Off to you, Andy.
I'm tempted to just go right off the board, right out of the gate with something that...
That's bold
might
move.
not even-
All right.
Why not? I get this anytime I go somewhere that has this available. I'm sad that it's gone from my location, and that's Arby's.
Oh.
I am such a sucker for Arby's, just like a regular roast beef with curly fries,
I've never
side
been
of
there.
matzo sticks.
I've never been there. I
Oh,
need
man.
to, but I've never been there. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Fantastic.
good. I'm hungry.
Keeping it in the exact same location, we had an Arby's in Prince George. It went away and it was replaced by my second pick, I guess.
Wow.
Carl's Jr.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I don't know what it is about Carl's. I don't know if it's a flame broiled thing or what, but the superstar with cheese, no onion. Oh, that's a good sandwich. I get the waffle fry poutine with a Coke. Oof. Sometimes my kid and I will
Sounds like
split an order of
heartburn.
the jalapeno poppers as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong. Next, I will be going with A&W. Very pricey these days. I mean, kind of like Carl's Jr. But the double teen burger with the onion rings and the frosted mug root beer, that's
Double
hard to
teen,
beat.
huh?
Sorry?
Double teen?
Double teen burger.
You're a bacon boy, huh?
I am a bacon boy. Hashtag bacon boy.
You won't find bacon on any of my meals.
Oh. We're just getting back to all of Andy's bad food takes, apparently.
Yep. Yep. That's fine.
And next, this is tough. I'm going to go with the one that I think I have most often, and that is Wendy's. The Wendy's chicken strips, a small chicken wrap, fries, and a Sprite is a good filling meal. It is one of the few fast food places that my wife can eat at because she's celiac, and they actually have gluten-free salads and all that kind of stuff. So it is our go-to eating out when we're together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to score Subway, which, okay, I'm gonna dishonorable mention to Subway here in the same breath. Last time I went into the closest Subway to me, you want to guess what they were out of? Lettuce. If there's anything you don't want to run out of, right? Lettuce.
Also,
Anyways,
probably the thing that goes bad the quickest out of anything on their trays, like the thing that's often the brownest.
Fair, but most sandwiches are going to have lettuce. If you ran out of one of the meats or something, you got options, but lettuce.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's why they ran out of it, because
and they didn't say anything about it until I was ready to put the lettuce on my sandwich.
Weird.
We don't have lettuce. I'm like, I've ordered 2 sandwiches. Anyways,
yep, that's fair. What's your order?
Subway. I will do either a turkey and ham sandwich or a steak and cheese.
Oh,
I get some M&M cookies for my wife. I don't care for the cookies, and always a fountain drink if possible.
Okay. Subway is on my list. My go-to was the BLT. Hold the tomatoes, the olives, and the onions. Do everything else, and the sun chips and the ginger ale with it.
You're gonna say BLT. Hold the lettuce and tomato.
Hold the bacon, the lettuce, and the tomato. I just want a bun with a whole bunch of banana peppers on it.
Right? Okay.
You have one more pick?
Well, I've got a couple more, but one more in this round. I'm going to take... Okay. This is not the best pizza place, but the combination of Pizza 73, pizza, and wings. Now, Pizza 73 does great wings. I tried getting wings from Domino's. They're so fatty and...
Yeah.
No, I like the... Yeah, Pizza 73 wings. Pepperoni and mushroom pizza, wing meal. Yeah,
solid. I like it.
If my son and I are home alone, that's almost a given. We're getting pizza, we're getting wings.
Nice.
Yeah, Pizza 73.
Man, I'm getting so hungry.
Oh man. Right?
Okay, I'm gonna go McDonald's. Pretty much just because they have the best fries. I will get the Junior McChicken, a couple nuggets on the side, the large fries, and the fountain Coke from McDonald's.
Interesting. Have you had the poutine at McDonald's?
No.
Interesting.
Is it an
I
adventure?
like the poutine at McDonald's. They use the light gravy.
Oh.
You like gravy or dark gravy? This is going to be interesting.
I like gravy. The answer is yes. There's not much to take from it.
Fair enough. My wife and I can't agree. I like the lighter gravies. She likes the darker the better.
Oh, okay.
No. McDonald's has a nice light gravy. Excellent poutine. I'd go with usually a Big Mac meal if I'm having a proper meal.
Fair.
But I do love going with the Junior Chicken and McDouble combo.
This was the student eat out all-time purchase all the time.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is a tough one. I'm going to go
pick now.
It is. And I'm really torn between two. I'm going to go with the one I've had more frequently, and that's KFC. KFC, just the fried chicken, fries with gravy, the little pasta salad, and Coke or Pepsi. I am drooling.
I would eat so much more KFC, but half my household not into it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's often a place that I will go there and I will order way too much just grease and I will leave, feel terrible, not go back for like a year, forget how it felt, go back, do it again. Like,
Just never learn.
no.
Just or learn for a while, but then forget what you've learned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
my entire university career.
so I've selected A&W, McDonald's, Wendy's, KFC, and Chick-fil-A.
That's a pretty good
I'm
roster.
pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that.
So there was one thing that I knew J-Dawg wasn't going to pick that I couldn't leave off my list. And
Interesting.
it sucks because we don't even have one where I live. But I had J-Dawg map one out for me by his place. So if I stop by to visit, I
Oh,
know I can get hooked up. And that's Blends Coffee. Now, I don't know what it is, what they put in there, specifically their cappuccino drink.
whoa.
But it's like if you took a Tim's iced cap or like a mocha frappe from Starbucks or something, but like made it actually good. That's what we're talking about. It
Interesting.
is it is top tier.
I'm gonna
Probably
have to
would have
give it a
been my
go.
probably could have been my first overall pick, but I was just
You
confident
knew it
that
was
J-Dawg
safe.
wasn't going to
Yeah,
take it. Yeah, they do other stuff. They do all sorts of different chillo drinks,
yeah.
but
Hmm.
I don't even care. It's a cappuccino, a little
Okay.
cappuccino ice cap dealy.
I'm gonna have to give that a
So
go.
good.
That sounds good.
Give it a go. Report back. Um, yeah. So my
So,
list was Arby's, Carl's, Subway, Pizza 73, and Blends.
very
I could
unique.
pretty much live off of that
Yeah,
that
that's fair.
rotation.
Man, we
Yeah.
did not have a lot of like fighting over places.
No, I had McDonald's on my list.
I had Subway, and that's
Yeah.
yeah. Do you have any honorable mentions?
I'd say I really do enjoy Burger King. I think for the same reason
Mm,
that I like Carl's, it's kind of that flame
I
broiled.
think Burger King is my least favorite of all fast
Really?
food I've ever had.
And I like Burger King fries too.
I ordered like a double cheeseburger there or something like several years ago, and it was an inch of mayo, and the burgers seemed like they were still like absolutely dripping old oil. And it was I have never
That doesn't
felt
sound
so
very
bad
appealing.
after having a burger. I was actually like gross. Like I was not enjoying it while I was
Oh,
eating it. So maybe it was just a bad order, but it was terrible.
not a good spokesperson for Burger King.
No.
But
No.
yeah, a Whopper meal, if done correctly,
Okay.
Burger King fries are good with a Coke. And then if we're going to the mall meal, we're there over lunchtime, I get Edo
That's
Japan.
fabulous. Honestly, that should have made my top. Like I love eating there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great one.
my go-to, a bento on
Yep.
like the
Me too.
thicker noodles.
Oh,
Do the
okay.
California rolls for one
Yep.
side, the gyoza dumpling
Mm-hmm.
guys on the other, always with the fountain drink.
So good. Yeah, I'm with you. It's one meal, $25. So it's not really
Oh,
like fast
so
food
bad.
prices. It's so
No.
expensive.
And it's not even fast either.
No, it's not.
Between the
Which is why I
line and how
didn't
long it
draft it. I'm
takes,
like, that's not fast food.
I think technically it would count
Yeah.
for our purposes, but
Yeah.
what's your go-to if you're stopping at Edo?
It's basically that. It's
Yeah,
basically exactly that. Yeah. Um,
solid.
some other honorable mentions. Tim Hortons did it this morning actually with
Ah,
the farmer's wrap. I'll either depends on if I want like the grease of the farmer's wrap. It's very tasty. If I'm feeling like I want something fresh, I go with the bagel belt. It's just easy, and I get lots of it for free from like Tim's points from playing like their hockey stuff.
I eat there probably more than anywhere else, but I'm never happy about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just the convenience. It's on my way to work.
That's
It's habit
exactly
now.
right. Yeah, I have
Ugh.
one that lives. It's like right beside where I live. So yeah,
And what are you gonna do? What are you
yeah,
gonna do?
exactly. Especially when you get half of like it was a $15 purchase this morning for $7. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I just don't know why they try things like pizza
Oh,
What are
yeah.
we doing?
I don't know. Popeyes is another one. Haven't done it
Ooh,
very often, which is why I didn't draft it. But just the fried chicken, the fries with gravy, the slaw. Yeah, if I got in the States, like the sweet
yeah.
tea, I love a sweet tea. So
Really?
whenever I'm in the States, it's always the sweet tea orders. In and Out in California on the West Coast, the double cheeseburger, the fries, the sweet tea.
They
If
say
you're,
it In and Out and Five Guys, maybe the two most overrated chains.
yeah, I like their fries. I like that they
I
like
will die on this
cut
hill.
their fries in house. The animal fries are pretty good. I understand that it's very, very basic, but they also have it priced appropriately, unlike most of the other places we're talking
That's
about.
fair.
So, lastly, Taco Bell. The
Mm.
two Doritos Locos Tacos Supreme combo with the fries and the Mountain Dew Baja Blast is exceptional. It will completely destroy your bathroom a few hours later, but it is fantastic.
Yeah, that's one for when the wife's out of town. Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
the
And you make sure 3
holy?
rolls of toilet paper in the bathroom at all times.
Oh, I might have to edit that out. That's, that's disturbing. Wow. All right. So your homework is to find an Arby's and a Blends.
Okay.
Report
Sounds good.
back.
Your homework is to start grilling more meats or find
I
someone to do it for
know.
you.
I know.
Barbecued ribs, they're phenomenal. Also, barbecued pork chops, they're like $8 right now at any superstore you go to. Throw them on the grill, get a meat thermometer, you'll be fine.
All right. I'll try.
All right, we are off to Tuesday. All right, welcome into Tuesday. I think Andy's got it all lined up for our results from last week. How did we do, Andy?
Actually, I think all of the games from Tuesday were canceled, so I think we stay
Oh,
tied.
yeah, I can imagine.
No, J-Dawg got one up on me. Finished with
Let's go.
five games correct to my 4.
Nice.
So I remain slightly worse than a completely random guess, and J-Dawg stays at a completely random guess. We're very
Oh
good.
man.
But
I
J-Dawg
don't
was telling me that he I mean he did pick Ovechkin to score 2 or more
I
goals, and he
did.
did do that
I got
yesterday.
that. I've
So
actually done pretty decent lately. I think I put together like $1.50 worth of bets the other day and I came out with like $5.50. So it was
hey,
pretty solid.
that's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope for better things moving forward on Tuesday, because the end of the season is fast approaching, and I would really like to be above
You'd
50%.
really like to not have to jump into the river. Yeah, that's
Oh
fair.
man.
That's,
Okay.
that's what we agreed on, right?
I mean, it's probably fair. All right.
um,
Coming up on Tuesday, game 1, Red Wings Canadians. I'm going to take the Canadians.
I'm going to take the Red Wings.
Oh,
Blackhawks Penguins we got next. I'm going to take the Blackhawks.
I'll take the Penguins. I'm just going to do Maggie's strategy and just take all of the home teams. Senators Blue Jackets. I will take the Blue Jackets at home.
I will take the Senators.
Oh man.
Next we have Hurricanes Sabres. I am going to take the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Hurricanes too.
Aw,
Sorry,
coward.
Maggie.
Coward.
I know. But right back at it, Maple Leafs Panthers. I will take the Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers just lost to the Leafs. I don't think that happens again. I'm going to take the Panthers as well. Next, we have Bruins Devils. I am going to take the Devils on this one. The Bruins seem like they are going for last overall place. So,
Yeah, they really do. I'm gonna take the Devils as well. Stars Canucks. Sorry, Canucks. I think this one could be ugly. I'm taking the Stars.
yes, me as well. I'm also going the Stars. Don't trust that. Islanders, Predators, Preds, I guess, because they're at home. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a coin flip for me. So the Maggie principle wins out. I'll take Preds. Utah Kraken. Utah.
Yep. Um, yeah, I'll go Utah as well. Avalanche, Golden Knights. That'd be a pretty solid game, actually. I'm Avs all the way. I'm such a huge fan.
I know you are. I'm going to take the Avs as well. So I win
Okay,
9 out of. Do we have 10 again? Yeah.
think
9 out
so.
of 10 games, I am going with Maggie and taking the home team. Um, we'll see how this goes. Man, if I go
Yeah.
like 8 for 10, I might be onto something here.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the betting odds are always so favored for the home team.
Right? Who knew?
All right. I think that is all for today. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. Please click like, click subscribe. Tell anyone you want about the podcast if you think it's worth telling anyone about. We are having fun with it. We're going to continue to shape segments and make little adjustments as we keep going here. But appreciate you listening, and we will be back next week.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Peace.